Hey guys, welcome back. Yep, 2 in 1 day, 2 live videos. But today I was going to do this much earlier, but I did that interview with Vincent and thought that I would give this a little bit of time. But if you didn't hear, today the Bassmaster Classic has been postponed. You know, we talked about it several weeks ago that it was a possibility. Actually, it was rumors that we were hearing, but today it's become official. And we're going to talk about the good and the bad behind it. We're going to talk about what happens, how the classic is done to start off with. And then I want to hear your comments. So comment below on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and click that notification bell. But I want to hear what you think. I mean, let's keep it real and keep it professional. So, the Bassmaster Classic was going to be held in March out there in Texas in Fort Worth. And the thing behind the Classic is this is a humongous it's a humongous cash flow that comes into the host city. Here's how it kind of works. Bassmaster's biggest event is the Classic. It's the biggest fishing event out of everything. You are on fire. Thank you. And so the Classic helps stimulate everything that goes on with the bass. It's the biggest tournament. It's the greatest show that you can watch. It's as a fan of fishing, it's the perfect event. It's a perfect storm. So Bass goes out and has some criteria that has to happen for a host city to be able to host the Classic. And they go to the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the governor or the mayor and all those people. And there's lots of, not only do they have to pick a place, but they have to have the right parking. They have to have you have to have an expo center that's fairly close. They need to have plenty of hotels, plenty of food, all that stuff that needs to happen before a place is picked. And then Bass goes and says, look, maybe we've chosen you, or in some cases, they, like Fort Worth, might have came to Bass and said, look, we have all of what you need. Can you come to us? In the last couple of years, Bass has been going to cities and saying, look, we'd like to host our stuff there. But for us to come, you have to have the hotels for our team, for our group. Then you have to pay us to show up, because the influx of cash that comes into the host city is astronomical. And this is no lie. The Bassmaster Classic going to Fort Worth is probably worth 30, let's just say in the COVID times, it's worth 25 to 30 million dollars. That's how much revenue comes in, because we need hotels, we need bars. I mean, you should see these anglers drink. We need bars, we need food, we need, parking. We need all that stuff. We need cars. We need airports. We need a place to stay. It's humongous what we need as a fan and as media, and also people who are showing up. You got to have rooms for the anglers. You got to have rooms for it's unbelievable. So Bass will go to the city and say, look, we need $200,000 or $300,000. At one point in time, I think it was probably $500,000 for Bass to show up. It isn't that much now. So they make sure the schedule is there, pick a date, and then starts the onslaught of let's get everything done. Let's start putting out the word that Fort Worth is going to have this amazing Classic. And they need to have, what it comes down to is, more importantly, they need to have an expo. So in these times with COVID, truthfully, I didn't think March was ever going to happen. And I don't mean to be pessimistic. I don't think June is the right time either. I think it needs to be pushed back a little bit, but hopefully I'm completely wrong. I want to be wrong. So now, instead of being March, the Bassmaster Classic will be held in Fort Worth in June. To be exact, it will be held June 11th through 13th, 2021. What's going to happen is there was a tournament that was supposed to be there, but now that tournament, which was number 7 for them, is going to be, I think that was, let me look, the Bassmaster Lead at Pickwick Lake, which was originally scheduled for June 10th through 13th, will instead be held in Florence, Alabama Fishery on March 18th through 21st. So what they did is they changed the both of them. So now they're going to go to Pickwick early and then go back to Fort Worth a little bit late. And like I said, it's so much money. It's so much money. It's the expo is so absolutely fantastic. And when I say I'm pessimistic about them holding it in June 11th through 13th, the reason why is I'm not 100% positive. I know the CDC says June is going to be the hopefully the day we're all allowed to start doing things again. I think that everything has been so slow that I still think it'll be a little hard to have the expo at that time. And I really do hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I think there'll be companies that might be scared to send their employees and everything else to do it at that time. Me personally, I would like to see them push it back all the way to the end of the season. And I'd like to see it be the end of the season every year. Instead of kicking off the let's just say the 2022 season, in 2022 we usually have the Classic early, and then we have the 2022 season. I'd like to see the Classic be at the end of the season, and still that same year. So it's huge news. I'd love to hear your comments and what you think. My first question to you guys is, if it's in June and let's just say you're in Fort Worth, would you attend it? I'd love to know if you would attend it, especially in this weird time with COVID and everything. Next, I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Is this the right decision for Bass to make? I personally believe it's the right decision. I just think maybe it's a little bit too early. But again, we should be optimistic and hope that all this crazy shit is over with soon, because that's really what it comes down to. But I'd love to hear your comments. I'm going to put this on YouTube, so go to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and comment, but tell me what you think. I ask those questions. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, because I mean this is just me rambling and giving you my opinion. I might know a little bit more, because truthfully, I knew about this 2.5 months ago or 2 months ago. There was rumors of it happening, and I'm glad that it finally is out. I'm really glad that they finally made the decision and moved it over, because in March it would have been, if there's no expo, there's no Classic. That's the God's honest truth. I mean, people love to go to watch the weigh-in, but quite honestly, people go to the expo more than the Classic. I know that's hard. That'll probably get me in trouble, but there's a lot of honesty and reality in that. There'll be 153,000 people that'll show up for the expo, and there'll be 40,000 that'll show up for the weigh-ins. And the launch always gets a lot of people too, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 people each morning maybe. But the expo is where it's all at. So if you can't have the expo, you really can't have the Classic. As tough as and as horrible and tough as that is, that's just how it is, in my opinion. Because really, the expo is the biggest consumer show there is in the United States. There's other shows that are really great, but the Classic brings them in nonstop. Okay. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. I will probably do another live show, because I've got a bunch of stuff. I know I'm a little sporadic on doing these like this, but I want to make sure there's content. I don't just want to do something to do it. That's not how I want to do. I don't want to have weird things. I just want to try to bring you the news, because there's been lots of great news with Major League Fishing, but I don't want to go into that because I don't want to spoil what the Classic is. Because really, while it's postponed and it's a disappointment, you want to know it's still going to happen, and that's the most important thing that we have. And I'm looking forward to going to Fort Worth and going to Castaway Rods and checking them out. I'm going to check out the stuff and do a bunch of stuff with do a bunch of videos, of course, do interviews and that kind of stuff. There'll be some people I go interview and other people I won't. I also think this is a good opportunity. Now we also don't have Major League Fishing back to back too. We'll talk to the second John Cox next week, not DeBerry John Cox, my boy. We'll talk to John Cox next week with MPFL. We'll talk to him and interview him, and I'm working on some other people too. So I hope you guys are enjoying the closer looks. There's a bunch of closer looks done. I'm working on what I'm calling the longest video I've ever worked on in my life. And I'm not joking. It's the longest video I've ever worked on in my life. I've done days of editing. So, I hope you guys like it. Anyway, there's a bunch of great, let me get to it. There's a bunch of great closer looks already done. I think the next one you're going to see is probably from, let me hit this button right here. Then the next closer look is probably going to be I have the Ducket Subtletail, the Ducket Fishing Vibra Swim. It's a vibrating jig or chatterbait. The Thunderhawk Lures Cha-Cha Glide. We have the longest funnel soft jerk plastic bait, Thunderhawk Lures Slash, Ducket Fishing RT Shad Paddle Tail, 6 Sense Fishing Flush, and then we finally get to the Guggen Baits Clickbait Vibrating Jig. And the one I've been working on is I'm comparing the Guggen Clickbait to the Jackhammer. And I've been working on it nonstop. It's a long video. I'm trying to do it right, and I hope you guys like it. Anyway, I hope you subscribe, like, comment, and click that notification button. I hope you're having a blessed day. And remember to do a few things. Take a kid fishing. Get your fish on. Right there. We will see you soon. Cheers, guys.